Hi, my name is Ahmed Mohamed Kakoi, aka Madais. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a music producer from Uganda originally, but living in Finland. I would like to share with you just a little story, I guess, or my journey as a child growing up, what things that I read, what books, and how did it maybe inspire me to be someone who loves to write things. As a child, my father used to read for me. He's a guy who could read lots of things, punish you, like you have to do this. He has a time at 7, you have to be inside reading. I remember that time we used to be in Tanzania. I was around 7 years old, 7, 8. That's the time when he used to really read a lot. I don't know who wrote the books of Musa and Neema. Those were books originally from Tanzania, but that's how my reading started from. So we could read the stories, or he could read for me, and I listen, and teaches me how to speak. I started picking interest in reading things just to understand or to learn more. 10, 11, whatever, grade 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, which is primary. We call them primary 1, or that's how we call them. In primary 4, 5, 6, I was one of the best students when it comes to dictating notes to the classroom. And I loved stories. However, that time, I didn't know anything about African writers because we were not studying literature at that level. Second year, we were introduced to literature as a subject. And my first book was Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. It was such an interesting book to me. And the teacher we had was so great, the way he read, the way he told the stories in that, and all the events that happened. I felt like I was in that village where Okonkwo was born, and Obierika and all those, everyone, who was in that, all the characters. I just felt all the time that I'm seeing this guy, to his tragic end of committing suicide and everything. But I learned a lot. I started picking interest in reading and writing. And then so Things Fall Apart, and then we had, No Longer at Ease. I think it was also Chinua Achebe. And then that's Nigerian. He's a Nigerian writer. I do believe many people who are interested in African literature, you know who he was. And then from Kenya, we had the great Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And I think it was The River Between, because kids used to make jokes about the book and other books, or the concubine or something like that. I loved everything, how they wrote. When you look at Animal Farm, and then you look at these books, how these guys wrote them, there was a very different way of how they depicted their stories, how they presented the stories to you. So I started just getting more curious and trying to know more. And I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll write also, maybe something. By then, music was something which just took me to different places. Every time I heard music, my mind was just blown away. And then I felt like I should just write my own songs. But then reading these books and the stories, so I was like, okay, should I write like how they write? No. Music is not written just like the books. That's a different thing. Maybe I should tell the stories. And how do I tell the stories? But then it was just, everything was kind of confusing by that time. But I kept on reading the books. And unfortunately, in my 4th year, I stopped school because of too many maybe problems. Financially, my parents couldn't then afford to have me in school and all that. And there was a lot of things also psychologically and mentally. Everything was just too heavy for me. So I had to drop it. I had to drop everything And then I went with music. But when we talk of Ngugi wa Thiong'o, he's a man I was always fascinated when I got to understand how he lives his life, or how, some of his principles. It's like he's just true to his language, you know. He's not going to impress you with the English just because he knows it very well. And I think he has written lots of books in his mother tongue, Gikuyu. And then coming to Finland a few years after living here, I bumped into the daughter. I didn't know that that's the daughter of the great Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Only one day we're talking and I'm like, wait a minute, this is Ngugi? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Ngugi wa Thiong'o's daughter? I was like, wow. And I'm like, I'm a huge fan of your father. And she's like, okay, that's good. And then she's a great writer also. She's a wonderful writer. So if you have a chance, look for Fall of the Saints. That's her book. And she has a new one coming out. So Seasons in Hippoland. So Wanjiku Wangugi, that's her real name. So if you're looking for her books. But she's a brilliant writer, African writer, okay? And then we have the likes of Chimamanda and many more. But those are the few, at least, that I know. And that's how it goes when it comes to my literature knowledge. That's how far I go. I still read when I have time, and I love writing. If you ask me what am I writing about, you will know after a few years when everything is ready. But I love writing. When we talk about art, African art, Africa is a huge continent. Every country is rich with the culture, art, and lots of things. And when it comes to art, the only thing I know is Tinga Tinga from Tanzania, because it's so special. It is unique. The first time I saw Tinga Tinga drawings, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this. There's markets where they sell souvenirs. When foreigners come in Tanzania and different, like even in Uganda or East Africa, at least they pick those. And the art, which is distinctive, it is Tinga Tinga. You recognize it anywhere. In the beginning, to me, it felt like a child was drawing. But then I was like, no. When you look at the bigger paintings, I was like, wow, these are great. Then I had a chance to go to the launch. It was an exhibition of the artist. That time I didn't know who he was. For me, I was like with some friends hanging out. I was like, hey, Maddie, you want to go? Do you want to come with us to this exhibition? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I'm just walking around in the gallery. I'm looking at these pieces. I'm like, they look almost the same, but not the same. So I started picking them because that's what I do. I look at something and then I start analyzing it one by one, every aspect of it. And I was like, this guy is brilliant. And then you go to another picture. It looks almost the same, but when you look at it clearly, it's different. So for those who are into art, fine art, or African fine art, you should go check out Tinga Tinga. I think you might be wondering, why would I be interested in that? I was one of the best students when it came to drawing in my school years. Since I was a kid, I was drawing. And in my high school, the 4 years I did, I was always the number one when it comes to still art. So I was good with my pencil. 4 years. So art, every time I see a good piece of art, I appreciate it. And that's what makes me stop all the time when I go to galleries and then just stand there and start to think, where did he want me to go? Where did she want me to go? Now we have so many artists, but unfortunately I haven't been paying attention, but I paid attention to Tinga Tinga because it is just unique. And if you happen to be in Tanzania, you'll get a chance to go to Tanzania. Go look for it. Look for genuine Tinga Tinga art, because I know it's not going to be cheap in some years to come. Since I'm a performer, I'll do a couple of songs for you for the Fala project. Sina moyo wa chuma kama unavyonidhania, unayopata nayapata pia, tukigombana nami naumia kama wewe, kama wewe, oh. Nisema sikujali unaniumiza roho, nisema sikujali unaniumiza roho. Sina, oh, sina, mimi sina, oh yeah, sina, moyo wa chuma dada. Kuna mengi unayofanya yanayonichanganya, kuruka na wengine jinsi unavyojisikia, hata kama sisemi lakini inaniumiza. Je, umekuwa wewe? Oh, umekuwa wewe? Hebu fikiria. Oh, sema sikujali unaniumiza roho. Wewe, kisema sikujali unaniumiza roho. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sina, no, sina, mimi sina, yeah, sina, moyo wa chuma dada, yeah, moyo wa chuma, yeah, damu kama wewe, sina moyo wa chuma kama unavyonidhania, mimi sina, maumivu unayopata napata pia, nielewe, tukigombana nami naumia kama wewe. Sina way. Oh, sina way. Ah, sina Sina, sina we. There are songs you perform and you wanna cry. I don't like that. But hey. Okay, that Sinner basically talks about the feelings that we do have as men. Sometimes our partners, the ladies, they think that we do not feel, we do not hurt. It's we do feel the pain, but sometimes
and hunger.
Yes. Exactly. We feel it all, but sometimes we just pretend to be the big boys. So we just have this macho mask on us, but deep inside we have feelings. So Sina is kind of like explaining that to you. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not crying. So I think we can play Te Amo. It's not a bit on. It's moyo wangu uko kwako wewe, mawazo yote yao kwako wewe, kila ninalolifanya na kuwaza wewe, na kila ninapokwenda na kuwaza wewe, ndio maana nasema goes by, I go more crazy for you. And I don't wanna spend a minute without you by my side. My love for you will never fade away. Te amo. Eu tenho e nakupenda. Te amo. Eu tenho oh nakupenda. Aya nayosema nitoka moyoni, nayokuambia nitoka moyoni mwangu. Te amo, yo te nakupenda. Te
Moyo wangu upo kwako yeah. All right, so that's Te Amo. It's a happy one, isn't it? Yeah, I usually write about love songs. So that's the art from Africa. Usually people think we should be just drumming only, I think, and dancing djembe, everything. Actually, we do. There is everything in Africa. I'm one of those when it comes to music. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah. Guys, this is Samuel Indrus. Jesper Eklund. And yeah, they're my guys when it comes to these small things. We do bigger things, then we add on the extras and extras that are not here. But for these sofa things, yes. I think that, yeah, this does well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Mad eyes. Mad love. Moyo wangu upo kwako